All right. So I'm going to do a screencast of what it should look like real quick based on what we have. So you're right. Yours is on the left. Mine's going to be on the right. So this is you. Your proficiency bonus is 2. Now, since you're a variant human, you have your stats of what you want it to be. So realistically, you should be adding your +1 to either your wisdom or your strength or con. Realistically, you probably want to go strength where you're at. So your wisdom would be your highest one, which is 17. You always round down, so divisible, that's a +3. Your strength would then inherently be 15, so that would be +2. You probably want to make your con your other 14 that Dill gave you, so that's a +2. Dex would be a 12, so that's a +1. Intelligence you had as 12, that's another +1. And your charisma is a 10, which is +0. So, as a cleric, your saving throws are in wisdom and charisma. So you click your little radio buttons here, and those are both there. So then your saving throws, your strength is going to be +2, your dex is +1, constitution +2, intelligence +1, wisdom would be 3 + 2, so that's +5, and then your charisma, unfortunately because it's so low, you have a +2 just because it's your proficiency. Now, you can choose from skills that you have that are associated first off with your cleric, from insight, history, medicine, persuasion, religion. You have insight right here, which is good. You have medicine, which is good. Now, when you choose your background, why won't you click? When you choose your background, make sure that you also choose to. A lot of people choose Acolyte for Cleric because that works out best. Backgrounds are on page... Backgrounds start on page 125. The Acolyte, you would get another skill proficiency in insight and religion. So then you could go back to your cleric one and choose something else. So if I were to do it, I would take my insight, I would take my religion, and then from the cleric one, so I would add that down here. From the cleric one, I would probably do either... you have history, medicine, or persuasion. Since your charisma is not that high, I probably wouldn't take that one. Medicine, you already have, so maybe history. But that's up to you. And then you get to choose another one for your variant human. So, like if you wanted to do survival, and then you wanted to do, or not survival, but you would rather have like perception, you could choose that. And then you would choose that other one, so history. And then you would just fill in each respective one, plus your pluses. So your dex you would look at is +1, and then animal handling, because its wisdom is +3, so on and so forth. And then if you have it shaded in, just add an additional 2. Your armor class was good, 18 was right. You're at a +1 because initiative is based on dexterity. Movement speed is 30 as a human. Your hit dice for a cleric, you're right, 1d8. And then your max hit dice at this point in time, you have 3d8. The only thing that I saw with your HP is that if your constitution modifier is a +2, and you're level 3, you would actually be at max hit points of 3 because it's 2 + 8. You get the 2 from your constitution modifier. The 8 is your hit dice, so that's 10. And then 10 times 3 is 30. So that's about it for that. You, as the background, if you choose Acolyte, you get to learn some more languages. You can write those down in the bottom right-hand corner. And then also, Acolyte is on page, what did I say, 127? It's on page 127. So you can choose your languages, and you have your holy symbol, things of the like that are on 127. For feats, those are in like the 160s. If I were to take a feat maybe as a cleric, that's up to you. You might take like something like heavy armor master. Lucky is always a good one. I always like lucky. If you want to be a healer, you can choose healer. If you want more spells, you could do magic initiate, ritual caster, or war caster, shield master. Spell sniper is always a good one too if you want to have more range on your spells. Realistically, if you're doing a feat, that's up to you. Lucky is always a fun one because if you roll poorly 3 times per day, you can re-roll without having to use it. But that's up to how you want to play your character. Other than that, the things look pretty good with what you have. Your weapon for your Warhammer is good. You might want to start looking at spells for your cleric, this cleric spell list. If you check those websites, they're really helpful with that. But for me, as a cleric, especially because I've played a Tempest cleric before, I used spells like... you get Fog Cloud and Thunder Wave. I chose Guiding Bolt, Cure Wounds, Inflict Wounds, Bane, Burning Hands. And then you have Shatter, Gust of Wind, Enhance Ability. But then also I was a level 5, so I might have some more. Cantrips, always good to have, are Sacred Flame, Guidance, and Spare the Dying. Guidance helps out your team. Sacred Flame is a cantrip that has to make a save. That's a go-to. And Spare the Dying in case anybody dies. But yeah, I definitely try to get Cure Wounds in there to help out. And you have your Channel Divinity and your Tempest Domain, which are on pages 58 and 62. You might want to check those out. Other than that, I think we're pretty good then. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Just text me. I should be mostly available for the rest of the afternoon. I have lunch duty in a little bit, so bye.